Aloha guys. All right, so we are working. I don't know why I'm yelling. Aloha. Today we're gonna edit up our Fleming's Firecrackers team photo. I got to pull up here in Photoshop. Got a little B-roll camera here. We're screenshotting the whole thing. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through quick thoughts while I do it. I already have everything kind of set up, so it should be pretty quick. I'm hoping for no more than a 10-15 minute pass to get this thing knocked out. But we're gonna build from scratch here, so it is gonna take a little bit of time. So let's get going, let's check it out. So the first thing we have here is I have my Photoshop pulled up here, and I've already opened up what I call my Firecrackers team. We shoot these at 10 by 13, or we edit these at 10 by 13, which is a really nice print size, and that can be brought down to 5 by 7, which is our new print size for 2025. So right now I have just a blank canvas. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut and paste my background layer from our portraits. We're gonna use the same portrait layer as we used for this one. I'm gonna just repurpose it in the background of the team photo so everything looks very consistent. It's gonna look really nice. So let's drop this in here. And as you can see right away, you can tell that it doesn't fit properly, which is totally fine. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually gonna take the layers that I wanna stretch and make fit, and we're gonna make those stretch and fit. So we're gonna grab those two layers, we're gonna Command T it so I can kind of repurpose this. And for the most part, you know, I don't care too much. This was a really nice background, so quality will hold up with the enlargement. But what I wanna make sure is that we see the color really well. And so what I'm gonna do here is actually I'm gonna rotate this just a little bit so that it's side by side color. As you can see, there's color on top, not as much color on the bottom. So we're actually gonna go over here and we're gonna rotate the actual background just about 90 degrees, and it's not letting me. Let's go here, rotate 90 degrees, and this is gonna move it so that on the left and the right, we now have color. So there's left and right color, and I did it the wrong way real quick. Let's flop it. I'm gonna flop it vertically. Okay, so here we are. Now we have left and right color, which I think is awesome. And I actually want this red to be on the left side and at the top. So we're gonna go ahead and rotate it one more time, just like this, and there we go. I love this, this is good. And just because my ADD's kicking, let's go ahead and flop it one more time. Okay, so this is what I love here. This looks really nice. Something like this. And let me just check our enlargement. And we're here. Yep, I like this a lot. Now we can kind of shrink it back down and kind of fit into here just like that. And I think this looks dope as shit. And let's go and check with our lights. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take our background lights and we're gonna repurpose them so that they fit within the backdrop, right? And you know, I don't love this anymore. It looks like these are going up and not down. So we're just gonna flop these back and we'll deal with the red being a little bit on the bottom. Once we do team photos, it won't matter too much just because there will be so much going on in the team photo. So we can kind of leave it like this. And this looks much better. Now it looks more natural. You can see in here, the lights are kind of popping out of the clouds a little bit. So it kind of looks like they're popping out of the clouds with the smoke, and it looks more natural. Looks like this is bursting through. So I like this. So we'll go ahead and save it. Always save your projects. Make sure it's named correctly. You know where it's being saved. Got it down here. We're gonna go save. We're actually gonna put it in our correct folder, because that is key. Organization is key. Okay, so now we have the background ready to go. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm just gonna bring the players into the template now. So I'm gonna grab the players, 12 players on this team, super simple. Okay, everything's set up and we're gonna drop in our photos right now. I have them right here, queued up, ready to go. So let's drop these things in. And just like that, we're gonna drop them in. These are gonna open up at a very specific size. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just resize them so that it's much more easy to work with them. I know there's only 12 girls, so they don't have to be very small, but we're gonna go 15% for each one of these, which will give me a little bit of room. And then obviously we'll just quickly bring these in, move them over here. Awesome, just like this, real quick. Get all 12 of these girls in here. I think it's 13, my bad, 13 girls. Perfect, let's just do this. And these are just dropping them in. We're making them all the same size so that our consistency still lives correctly within the template, and all of them are sized correctly. Perfect. These are gonna look great. So now all our girls are here. They're all in the template, so we're good to go. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them in their own folder. I'm gonna take them and highlight them all, put them in their own folder, move that photo above the layer, and just for the time being, we're gonna turn off the layer, and now we're gonna work with each of these players and get them lined up. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna bring a ruler down instead of hard line. This is gonna let me line the feet up. And with 13 girls, that means that someone's gotta go in the center. So we're gonna grab that first. And usually we put a catcher in the center, but in this one, there's actually 2 catchers. So we're gonna mess this up a little bit. And I think I'm just gonna throw this girl in the center. Perfect, we'll go with this. And then I'm actually gonna go with this. We'll do this. Perfect. Here with this. And at first, I just kind of place them in, looking at the way they're facing and the position or the pose that they're in, but I'll fine tune once we kind of get these set. And I usually kind of know what I want to get from these before I start, but sometimes you don't quite know, so it just depends on what you're working with. And I know like sometimes like the way the bat is sitting on them and those kinds of things can definitely change what you can and can't do with the pose. But for the most part, we make these in a way where it allows everyone to easily be posed within the framing or the composition. Perfect. And again, a lot of this is just fine tuning, it's finesse. It's really just getting in there and seeing what you have, what you shot. And if you shot it correctly, then there should be no issues with getting the girls posed to look awesome. And at the end of the day, we just want all these girls to look awesome in their photo. And this one's gonna turn out really well. It looks like we have one little ill pose here, and she's little, so I'm gonna flop her out for right here. And actually, we might move her out for somewhere on the outsides here, because she's very tiny compared to the other girls. Her here, put her in the front here, and we'll go like this. Perfect. And this girl I want to bring to the top, she's in the very front. This girl, Avery. Yep. Perfect. Actually, we'll go there. Perfect. And these look pretty awesome. You know, the closer they are in height, the cooler the team photo looks, in my opinion. But for the most part, as long as they're similar heights, the team photos tend to look awesome. And she's a little bit leaning, so we'll give her just a little tilt, just like this. Yep. And that's pretty close. We go 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 7. Yep. So pretty even across the board here. We have one little shorty. And let me see. Maybe I'll put her in the center since she's so small, and just put her right here. Yeah, I think that's a little better since she's the shorty. She'll go right in the center. Yep. And so far this looks really good. So as you can see now, we have all the players lined up. They're pretty much in the order that we shot for the team photo, so everything looks really nice, really clean. We'll go ahead and add all the little bells and whistles to it to kind of clean it up, and then resize it within the actual composition. So first thing I'm gonna do is just resize it just a little bigger, just like about there. It looks really good. I'm gonna go just a hair bigger here. Awesome. And again, these are shot such high quality that this actually, if you look at it, this picture is still only 21% of the total quality. So that's why it looks so good in these photos, is we're not maxing them out by any means. And we'll go here, and I'm just gonna turn that layer on to see that it looks great against the background. So a couple things here is I'm going to, first things first is, we're gonna do 2 groups here, but let's go back here, and I'm gonna grab this top layer from this one. We're gonna drop it right in here on top of this one. So this, again, again, it's just our top layer. So we're gonna grab the two pieces of the top layer that I wanna mimic first, and we're just gonna make those fit right within the size here. And again, we're just repurposing exactly what we used for the actual 8x10 or what we call the mom photo, the actual portrait. We just repurpose that so that it saves time on all our ends. And that looks pretty good here. Yep, I like this. We'll bring that over. Awesome. And so what we'll do here is we'll close that, we'll grab this group, bring it down a little bit. Close that, let's grab the group. Auto select. Awesome, and then we can go and check the background, and it's starting to look super cool. So the first thing that I do want to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to start I want them to be a little bit bigger in the composition, so I'm going to tighten up everything that we're doing here and bring these girls in so they look just a little tighter. First things first, and this will allow me to enlarge the group, which will definitely help overall with the way that it looks. It'll help the composition. It'll just overall help what you see within everything. And like right here, we have a little bit of a weirdness here, so it's all good. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flop these two now, just like that. This will be a little better for the composition. Perfect, see now they're much tighter in the frame. So now I can actually make them a little bigger, which would allow them to fit within the composition just a little better. There we go. See, now they're all right within there. And perfect. Okay, so now they're good. We're gonna go ahead and add our coaches. So now we're good here. We're gonna make right on top of this. We're gonna go back over here. We already have them grouped, ready to go. Maybe I don't. I should, but looks like I might not. There we go. Coaches. So we're gonna grab our 5 coaches and drop them right in. And we're gonna make them the same size. So I made them 25%, I believe is what I did. So we'll make them all 25%. Once we bring the coaches in, I'll verify that too. And the coaches go in the background. And again, we shoot the coaches very specifically so that we can line them up and make them look really cool. Turn off this group. And let's do this first. So we'll line our coaches up. I'm gonna bring down my little line here. And then head coach goes in the center. First things first, head coach in the center. And then personally, I'm gonna put her dad right behind her. And with baseball, especially softball teams, travel, I don't know if there's a hierarchy of coaches. It wasn't specified, but for me, we're just gonna go with how we see this here. And I kinda like this, just like that. I think that looks really good. 2 tall guys there, 2 shorter guys in the back. Looks nice. Does it look okay if I bring him up? Oops. Let's see what happens if I bring him forward. Yeah, let's bring him up too. Yep, that looks good. I kind of like this. It looks pretty nice. So we'll take all of these and we'll put them in their own folder. We'll drop that folder behind the group and perfect right there. I'm gonna turn it off and I'm gonna triple check these girls' sizes. They are 25.83, so we're pretty close here. And let's finagle these coaches. And we're gonna lift them up just a little bit, just so they come up on top of the girls, but look at that. Would you look at that? That is awesome. So right now we got coaches, we got players, all perfectly shaped within our composition. It looks awesome. Yeah, this actually looks really cool. On the photo day, we actually had her dad had the wrong shirt. We're able to swap it out because of the way we do things. He was able to put a white shirt on, which definitely helps this because that black shirt would have stood out to be a little weird. We're gonna turn on our layer. So background looks popping. We're gonna throw our top layer here. And as we get closer here, I'm just gonna finagle some of these little things here. So we have this black kind of gradient here. I want to use that black gradient to kind of cover the feet just a little. So the first thing I'm going to do is extend that black gradient just up over their feet. I want this whole area to be a little bit more covered. I don't want to have any of those feet showing. I want to be able to see down towards the feet, but ultimately I don't want any feet showing. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then this year we added this really cool kind of smoke layer that's going to kind of fizzle up and cover the feet as well. So I'm just going to make sure I like the size of this. which I do like it. I'm gonna bring it down just a little, and we're gonna go with something like this. We've done a little bit of work on the color or the smoke itself, the fog, to kind of give it a matching kind of hue to everything else going on. And then the last thing I want to do is we have a couple of logos here. So we got this Firecrackers logo. We actually have two logos here. So let's grab this Firecrackers logo. Let's make it a little bigger. Boom, we got the Fleming Firecrackers. It's a great logo. I'm gonna pop that in this corner over here. I'll do like this, just like that. I like that size. And then obviously we're gonna drop this, which is their league logo and their team photo. We usually don't put the league logo in the individuals, but we'll put the league logo in the team photo. So that's the Flemings right there, and it's just about the right size. Shrink it down a little bit. It's definitely dead center with the other one. So we got both our logo, team logo, league logo, and last thing, my logo. Got to put it in there. So we're gonna find it. It's in here somewhere. Looks like it's right there. I'm gonna track it, grab it, and I'm just gonna slide it right over here, just like that. Nice and hidden in the corner, just big enough to see. So if someone goes, "Hey, who shot this awesome photo?" Well, we did, of course. And just like that. Now, if you look, we're done. Not sure how long it took us, but it did not take us very long. The one thing I see right away that I want to kind of fix is I'm just going to grab this one girl right here. I'm going to turn this girl right here, and I'm just going to move her over just a little bit. Perfect. And we'll go back and turn back on our smoke layer. And I mean, I freaking love this. If you guys can see this, I'll show you guys here, but it looks awesome. I mean, everything came out perfect. They're going to be super stoked. And yeah, you guys, if you're interested in learning more about how we do this, I'll be doing some more content. You guys can kind of figure it out. But for the most part, we have this down to a science. If you want to book your team, hit us up. Let's get you on the schedule for 2025. We cannot wait to work with you. And we'll see you guys next time. Aloha.